Have you ever felt the crushing weight of your own mind, its anxieties, its incessant chatter, its pathetic longing for approval? Have you ever been broken by a criticism, paralyzed by a fear, or swayed by an opinion you knew deep down was contemptible? Perhaps you are utterly exhausted from the secret, shameful war you wage against your own weakness, the constant, draining effort of pretending to be strong while feeling as fragile as glass. In truth, all you yearn for is an inner fortress, an unbreachable citadel of the soul, a mind so sovereign, so powerful and so fundamentally indifferent to the chaos of the world that it radiates a terrifying and unshakable strength. You might have tried mindfulness, positive affirmations, or stoic indifference, earnestly believing that a calmer, more pleasant internal state was the key to power. Yet despite every painstaking effort to find peace, the old anxieties return, the familiar weaknesses resurface, and the elusive dream of true mental fortitude remains frustratingly just beyond your grasp, leaving you in a perpetual state of exhausting vulnerability. You convince yourself that a strong mind is a peaceful mind. But let me tell you something that is perhaps the most dangerous and transformative secret in all of philosophy. A truly strong mind is not at peace. It is at war. As long as you continue to seek comfort, to avoid pain, and to desire a life free from suffering, you will, with a cruel and unyielding irony, remain a slave to everything you fear. You will be a plaything of circumstance, a puppet of public opinion, and a prisoner in the comfortable, well-lit cage of your own mediocrity. This is not, let me be clear, a declaration that you are destined for weakness. Rather, it is a stark, unvarnished call to arms, a blueprint for forging a mind of such terrifying power that the world will have no choice but to tremble before it. A blueprint drawn up not by a guru of gentle wellness, but by the most fearsome philosopher to ever wield a pen as a hammer, Friedrich Nietzsche. Friedrich Nietzsche, that great and terrible physician of the soul, did not merely observe human weakness. He dissected it with a surgeon's cold fury. He saw modern man as a domesticated herd animal, a creature who had traded his strength for comfort, his will for security, and his capacity for greatness for the cheap, narcotic promise of happiness. He offered a radical and transformative reinterpretation of what it means to be strong. He asserted, with the profound conviction of a man who had endured unimaginable suffering, that the purpose of life is not happiness, but power. Specifically, the will to power, the innate striving impulse in all things to grow, to expand, to overcome, and to master. It is precisely within this audacious and terrifying shift in life's ultimate goal, this pivotal and conscious rejection of comfort in favor of conflict, that the authentic key to building a mind of terrifying strength is meticulously hidden. It's not about erecting an impenetrable shield of positive thinking. It's not about meticulously cultivating a Zen-like detachment. On the contrary, true and enduring mental power, as Nietzsche so brilliantly illuminated, resides in the profound, often agonizing process of self-overcoming. It involves the courageous act of turning your entire being into a battlefield and declaring a joyous, relentless, and eternal war on every weakness, every comfort, and every limitation within you. Because within Nietzsche's transformative framework, the mind is not a garden to be peacefully cultivated. It is a block of marble from which a god must be brutally carved. The tools for this sculpture are not gentle thoughts. They are a hammer and a chisel, and their names are pain and suffering. The first and most crucial step in forging this terrifying mind is to learn the secret alchemy of amor fati, the love of your fate. The weak, herd mind spends its entire existence trying to avoid, mitigate, and complain about suffering. It sees hardship as an injustice, failure as a trauma, and pain as a sign that something has gone wrong. This is the foundational error, the slave morality that keeps it forever fragile. The strong mind, in stark contrast, does not merely tolerate its fate, it loves it. It does not just accept what happens, it wills it. It looks upon the inevitable suffering of life, the betrayals, the losses, the illnesses, the humiliations, and says, again. This is not a passive resignation. It is an active, creative, and profoundly defiant act of the will. The mind that practices amor fati understands a terrifying truth. Suffering is the indispensable tool for growth. Pain is the resistance that builds the muscle of the soul. Every setback is a lesson. Every failure is a whetstone. Every enemy is a teacher. This mindset is terrifying to others because it is a form of philosophical invincibility. How do you threaten a man who whispers thank you to his misfortunes? How do you break a woman who sees her deepest wounds as the portals to her greatest strengths? You cannot. A person who loves their fate is no longer a victim of the world. They are a collaborator with destiny. They have taken the universe's most powerful weapon, suffering, and turned it into their own most powerful tool. To begin this practice, you must stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "Why is this happening for me?" You must hunt for the gift in every wound, the strength in every struggle. You must learn to see your life not as a series of unfortunate events to be survived, but as a perfect, necessary, and beautiful curriculum designed to forge you into a god. Once you have learned to love your tools, you must begin the work. The second principle is to declare war on yourself. Nietzsche's Zarathustra declares, "You must be ready to burn yourself in your own flame." How could you become new if you had not first become ashes? The strong mind is not a place of harmony and self-acceptance in the modern therapeutic sense. It is a site of perpetual joyous conflict. You must become your own greatest enemy in order to become your own greatest master. This is the process of self-overcoming. You must relentlessly hunt down and attack the you that is weak, the you that is lazy, the you that seeks comfort, the you that craves approval. You must wake up each morning and ask, which of my cherished limitations will I execute today? This internal warfare is terrifying to the herd because their entire existence is predicated on self-preservation and the avoidance of internal conflict. They seek self-care in the form of comfort. You must seek self-care in the form of self-crucifixion. This means actively choosing the difficult path. It means embracing voluntary hardship. Run in the rain. Take the cold shower. Read the difficult book. Have the uncomfortable conversation. Argue the position you do not hold simply to test the foundations of your own beliefs. The mind that is constantly at war with itself becomes incredibly hard, resilient, and sharp. It develops a tolerance for pain and discomfort that is incomprehensible to the comfort-seeking masses. It is a mind that has been forged in a crucible of its own making, and it radiates an aura of discipline and self-mastery that others can only interpret as terrifying. They are soft because they have only ever fought external, trivial battles. You will be hard because you have won the only war that matters. This internal war must be waged on a battlefield of absolute truth. This leads to the third terrifying principle. You must gaze into the abyss and not blink. The herd mind is a fortress built of comforting lies. It is protected from the terrifying truths of existence by the thick walls of religion, ideology, and social convention. These walls guard against the abyss, the chilling realization that there is no cosmic plan, no inherent meaning to life, no divine justice, and no ultimate reward for being good. The herd is terrified of this abyss. The mere thought of it threatens their entire reality. The creator of the terrifyingly strong mind does not run from the abyss. He walks to its edge, looks down into the swirling chaos of meaninglessness, and allows it to gaze back into him. He has the courage to withstand the profound horror of nihilism, to accept that the universe is indifferent and that he is utterly alone. This act of intellectual courage is what separates the master from the slave. But the true master does not fall into the abyss of despair. He sees the void not as an end, but as a beginning. He sees it as the ultimate liberation. If there is no preordained meaning, then he is free to create his own meaning. If there is no universal moral law, then he is free to become a lawgiver to himself. A mind that has faced the abyss and survived is terrifying, because it is no longer bound by the fears that control the herd. It cannot be threatened with damnation or tempted by paradise. It has seen the worst the universe has to offer and has chosen to laugh, to dance, and to create in spite of it. It operates on a plane of existence that is simply inaccessible to those who still need their comforting fictions. Having survived the abyss, you are now free to enact the fourth principle, become a lawgiver to yourself, and revalue all values. The herd operates on a slave morality that it has inherited without question. In this morality, good is everything that is safe, harmless, pitiful, and comfortable. Evil is everything that is powerful, dangerous, ambitious, and life-affirming. This morality is a survival mechanism for the weak, designed to tame the strong and make them feel guilty for their own strength. The creator of the strong mind utterly rejects this. He undertakes a revaluation of all values. He looks at the herd's good and sees it for what it is, a life-denying weakness. He looks at their evil and sees in it the potential for greatness. He creates his own master morality, a new table of values forged in the fire of his own will. For this mind, good is whatever increases the feeling of power, the will to power, and power itself in man. Good is hardship, discipline, courage, and the joyous affirmation of life in all its beauty and terror. Bad is whatever is born of weakness. Bad is comfort, pity, egalitarianism, and the quiet, creeping nihilism of the last man who seeks only a risk-free, painless existence. A mind that operates on its own self-created moral code is terrifying because it is radically unpredictable. It cannot be controlled by social pressure, shamed by public opinion, or manipulated by appeals to guilt. It is a sovereign entity, an island in the midst of the herd's churning sea, and its actions are guided by a single question: does this make me stronger? And when you embark upon this courageous and terrible journey, when you learn to love your suffering, to wage war on your weakness, to stare down the void, and to legislate your own reality, a remarkable transformation occurs. The anxieties, the fears, the desperate need for approval, the very sources of your silent mental suffering, are not merely managed or suppressed. They are burned away like dross in a furnace. You are no longer a reactive creature, a fragile ego buffeted by the winds of the world. You have become a conscious, creative force, a mind that does not reflect the world, but imposes its will upon it. This truly is the enduring promise of the Nietzschean path, the profound, liberating realization that genuine strength and unshakable and terrifying power is not found in the futile pursuit of peace or happiness, but through the daring, transformative process of becoming the master of your own inner chaos. This journey does not end. It is a state of perpetual becoming, a commitment to eternal self-overcoming. Most people, trapped in the slave morality that preaches safety and comfort, dedicate their lives to building a psychological padded room. They build towering walls of dogma, craft intricate masks of agreeableness, and cultivate a facade of harmlessness, declaring, "I just want to be happy." Yet beneath this placid exterior, they are riddled with a profound and unspoken terror, a terror of life itself. The fundamental problem was never the existence of pain, but their cowardly relationship to it. This profound disconnect, This spiritual weakness afflicts precisely those who have not yet dared to take up the hammer. Nietzsche was uncannily precise when Zarathustra cried, "I teach you the overman. Man is something that shall be overcome." And it is your current self, your comfortable, weak, approval-seeking self, that you so stubbornly insist on protecting, that is now screaming, begging to be overcome. Building a terrifyingly strong mind, then, has absolutely nothing to do with being nice, with being calm, or with being happy. On the contrary, it has everything to do with becoming dangerous, primarily to yourself. You do not become truly untouchable by erecting an unbreachable barrier of tranquility. You become untouchable genuinely when you realize that no one, absolutely no one, can inflict a wound upon you that is more glorious, more instructive and more welcome than the wounds you inflict upon yourself in your daily war of self-overcoming. When you cease to fear your own pain, you stop reacting viscerally to the petty threats and judgments of others. You observe their frantic emotional displays with the detached curiosity of a god watching ants. You are no longer a participant in their small, frightened games, and that, my friend, is the very essence of true freedom. You were taught from the earliest moments to fear pain, to seek comfort, and to value safety above all. You were indoctrinated into the belief that a good life is a life without struggle. And so you diligently began to run, to avoid, to deny, to numb. But the more you flee from life's necessary hardships, the more relentlessly a profound spiritual sickness pursues you, and with a sinister twist. It changes form. It disguises itself as depression, as anxiety, as a pervasive sense of meaninglessness, as a gnawing boredom that you cannot even begin to comprehend. A will that is not exercised, a mind that is not tested, a soul that is not hammered upon the anvil of adversity does not simply remain peaceful. It atrophies, it sickens, it dies. The brutal truth is that your psychological suffering only hurts so profoundly because you are still, on some fundamental level, resisting your own potential for greatness. There remains a vibrant, evolving part of you, the overman yearning to be born, battling against the entrenched, herd animal part that desperately clings to the familiar, striving to keep everything safe and predictable. There is an undeniable cry from deep within for you to become a creator, but your ego, terrified of the pain of childbirth, endeavors to suffocate that vital call. And it is in this profound internal friction, this agonizing resistance to your own strength, that your unique form of pain is born. Because greatness hurts. Becoming new hurts. Burning away your weakness, severing your ties to the herd's morality, allowing the comfortable you to finally die. All of this is a profound agony, an internal process of death and a terrifying spiritual rebirth. But it is precisely within this desolate space of deconstruction, when the herd's values have turned to ash and the fire has laid bare your deepest will, that you can finally truly see who you are capable of becoming. And at that exact pivotal point, suffering becomes sacred, for it brings you to your knees before the only force that can truly make you strong, yourself. If this profound and dangerous message has resonated with you, if something deep within you has stirred from its domesticated slumber and recognized the call of the wild, then affirm your choice. Affirm that you are ready for this truth. You are ready to stop being a creature and to start being a creator. You have spent your entire life believing that your mind was a fragile thing to be protected, but now you know the truth. Your mind is not a treasure to be protected. It is a weapon to be forged, and the forging requires fire. Stop running from the fire. Stop praying for the rain. Stand in the flames. Pick up the hammer. Look upon the anvil of your life with all its inevitable pain and heartbreak and say, Amor fati. Do this, And you will not just build a mind that is strong, you will build a mind that is a force of nature, a mind that is so sovereign, so self-created, and so utterly indifferent to the petty squabbles of the world that people will look at your calmness in the face of chaos, your joy in the face of struggle, and your freedom in the face of their chains, and they will not understand. And what they do not understand, they will fear. You will have built a mind so strong that it terrifies them, and you will finally truly be free.